to the Wolf Brothers podcast. Oh. I'm here with the Wolf brother, Jake. How are you, Jake?
What's good? Doing well.
Good. It's been a minute. I was in the Great White North, hanging out with some in real life Timberwolves in Minnesota.
Oh yeah, you actually went up to
I know.
the Minnesota,
Up
living
in
that lake life.
Nisswa, living that lake life.
Nice.
It was fun for a change to be in friendly Timberwolf territory, but yeah, lots has gone down in the well, I say that it is summer and summer leagues. Is summer league over? I feel like it was so
Yes.
quick. It was so quick.
Yeah, we played just 5 games.
Dang. So we only got a taste, but there was some good Team USA basketball and lots of good stuff to talk about. I will admit I was on vacation and I didn't watch any of the games live, but I did get caught up. This morning I watched the game against South Sudan. So just curious, did you watch that game?
South Sudan, I did not watch live. I think it happened at 3 a.m. for me.
Nice.
Some of these games are like nightmare times.
Yeah.
But the Serbia one I watched that ended at like 1:30 in the morning. But I watched like all the highlights on YouTube. It's annoying with do you have ways to watch like the full games? I feel like the way the Olympics do it, they block all sorts of content, so it's hard to consume after the fact.
Yeah, I was able to find a full recording. It was on YouTube actually. I think someone had
Oh,
uploaded
nice.
it in a shady way.
Oh,
But I just Googled it and found it and watched it.
nice.
But yeah, it's better. A YouTube TV, I usually get the games and I just watch them on playback. I didn't even try that this time, but normally it works for me.
Oh, nice.
So we paid a stream. Um, well, here are my takeaways because I didn't watch. You tell me about the other game, but um, first of all, I, this is a new segment called Matt has hot takes. Here's my hot take, and I think it's the right
Let's
take.
go. Spice it up.
Uh, Four-time NBA champion, MVP, Stephen Curry. 1 for 9. 0 for 6 from 3. Broke as a joke. Not even trying on defense. 4 fouls in 21 minutes. Jake, do you know who should be starting over Stephon Curry? Let me read this stat line.
Do you call him Stefan? Did you
Stephon
give him the
Curry.
Marbury treatment?
Stephon
Is
Curry.
that was a really low key Minnesota diss.
It was the Shanghai Sharks. So 17 minutes. 4 for 9. 2 for 4 from 3. 3 steals, including one Sharktopus full court press, steal, and pass. 13 points in 17 minutes. Anthony Edwards should be starting these Olympic Games. He's clearly the alpha. You know who else should be starting? Kevin Durant over either Devin broke as a joke Booker, although he shot pretty well this last game.
He's not broke as a joke.
I'm just going back to the Sun series where he had one good game. Or you know what? Start him over Tatum. I know Tatum didn't play last game and Curry had to help his ego. But start him over Tatum. That's the lineup right there. Anthony Edwards will keep Booker in there to spread the floor. Anthony Davis should start, which thank goodness Steve Kerr finally made an adjustment and sat Embiid. I'm a little tired of Steve Kerr right now. LeBron James and then Kevin Durant. That is the starting lineup. It should be the starting lineup. Do you agree or do you disagree?
Right. Well, who's the point guard in that lineup?
Anthony Edwards. Did you see it? Okay, go ahead.
Matt, do you know what mala is?
Mala?
Yeah, like Szechuan peppercorn.
No.
Okay, so in the East, there's this thing you might also know of it as numbing powder, but it's common in certain types of Chinese dishes, and it gives your tongue this like weird sensation that like it tastes good. It's almost a bad way to describe it is like licking a battery, kind of. But what happens with mala is when you have it, you can have more spice because that like numbing effect allows you to eat more spice. So I'm going to pour a little mala on this take. Um, because I think your heart's in the right place, but here's the secret. It's better for Ant to come off the bench because then he
Yeah, yeah,
doesn't
yeah,
have to
yeah, yeah,
deal
yeah,
with
yeah, 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 yeah,
LeBron
yeah.
and Curry's usage.
True.
I disagree with you. I think Curry should start just because of the crazy spacing and the off-ball gravity he provides. But
Hmm.
like, I want Ant to start, but I don't care if he starts. How about he closes, which
Yeah,
he's done,
true.
but coming off the bench with KD, his big bro,
Oh yeah,
then he doesn't have to worry about um
the vacuum of
LeBron,
LeBron.
like,
Yeah,
yeah, dominating the ball. And he gets more looks. A lot of those second unit guys aren't as dynamic at creating. And so
yeah.
I think it almost allows Ant to shine more. Plus, because Ant's 22, or he just turned 23. Did he just have his birthday?
I don't
Maybe,
know.
but he he has a little bit less to lose in terms of ego stuff, in terms of some of
Hmm.
the other guys. So I'm fine with him coming off the bench because one, I want him to play with KD. And two, I don't want him to have to deal with the other high usage ball handling guys.
Yeah. No, I hear what you're saying. I don't fully disagree. I think what I what I just love is when Ant hits the floor. I just feel like that lineup midway through the first quarter or like late in the first quarter when Ant came in and KD and him were on the floor together. We went on like an 8-2 run. Ant was looking for KD every time down the floor. And
Oh
his
yeah,
defense, honestly, more than anything, it's Ant's
sick.
defense that's
His
on
on-ball
next
defense
level.
is legit.
Like
Ant is the Michael Jordan of Nas Reeds right now. He comes in and there's instant impact.
it's true. He's the Michael Jordan Nas Reeds. There's I mentioned that full court press where he just took that guy's cookies and then passed it to
Oh, that
Bam.
was
That was
oh, it was
amazing.
amazing.
He just puts fear in people. And I will say, it is pretty amazing, as much, grief as I like to give LeBron, to see LeBron at this age still dominating and striking fear in the South Sudanese. Like in the first play, LeBron scores and just stares the guy down and says, I'm gonna be here all night or day. I don't even know when they were playing. Um, but LeBron is still LeBron. This team is good. It's one of the best Team USA's
Yeah.
we've ever had, I think. And the fact that like Tatum and Halliburton aren't getting minutes some games is kind of wild. Um, because they just have too many guys. Now,
Can
I
we
don't know
talk for a
what.
second
Yeah, yeah.
about how magical that KD? I know this is a Wolves podcast, but we were just talking about how our respect went up for KD after our
Oh,
series
yeah,
with the
yeah, yeah,
Suns.
yeah, for
How
sure.
magical was that? He's coming back from injury and he hits like his first 8 shots, just cannot miss, unstoppable. I don't know. There's something about KD in international play where he's even more efficient than in the NBA.
I think part of it, she's just such a good catch and shoot guy, and we move the ball more. And like that's maybe my one critique on Ant is sometimes Ant he just feels like he has to dribble. But like if we can move the ball a little bit, he's kind of Durant off the bench. If he's our off the bench closer, him and Edwards, I feel like we can't be beat. I mean,
Yeah.
what team is Canada the only team that has a chance against us? Is there any team?
I mean,
Am I getting too cocky?
yeah. Honestly, I think we could lose a game. I think we could lose. Um, the reality is in when like Michael Jordan won, I think
Hmm.
like the original Dream Team, there were I think 9 NBA players on other teams, and
Yeah,
this year there's like 62 or something.
yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah. Good point.
there's just good competition, and
Yep.
it's a 40-minute game. Like
Yeah.
crazy stuff can happen in 40 minutes. So
True.
no, we I think we can lose. And
Yeah.
like
International basketball has gotten so much better. Um, it makes me sad that the Olympics happens only once every 4 years because this is fun. I don't want it to end. And I was listening. And you sent me Windhorse Pod, and they mentioned that there were more people watching that game, the last Team USA game, than the watch game for the NBA Finals. Now, granted, it
well, because
was,
it had Anthony Edwards in it.
and dude, that's true. I think Minnesota Timberwolves this year are gonna be averaging 15 million people watching a game.
Anthony
Um,
Edwards was like breaking, like he was the like most watched player in some rounds that he was in. Like of if you looked at like clicks on highlights and stuff, like he was
yeah.
blowing up. He really is. And the Olympics and his continued great shoe lines and stuff can just continue that.
This is the argument for why Ant is going to be the face of the league. It's like you have Wemby, who is the most media trained robot, who says all the right things, who obviously he is he was designed in a lab by aliens as his body, but like his the way he talks, he sounds like, you know what he sounds like? He sounds like a NBA 2K my player. Like in interviews. Like you could just take his audio from post game interviews and put it in 2K25, and it
Yeah,
would be Wemby, because that's
I think
just
it would. I think it would be Jason Tatum,
Tatum
but
too. Tatum and Wemby. That's neither
Tatum's
of them
way
have the.
worse.
But I'm just saying Wemby. It's he's just
Yeah,
boring,
I
and
agree with
like
you.
and
I
that
think
that's
I
part of
think
what
that's
makes him.
true.
He's got like that
I
Tim
just
Duncan-esque kind of thing. Only Tim Duncan had a different kind of cool. Um,
no. I think you're right about Wemby. Is he doesn't have that like charisma. He doesn't have that
mhm.
riz, but it does feel a little more genuine. Where Tatum just feels like he's copying everything that every like good
the,
NBA players does.
that montage, even the
Oh,
Garnett thing.
it's
If
hard to watch.
anything is
Oh,
possible. What did he
oh
say? Oh,
man.
I gotta go watch that. That was so funny.
Oh, everything he did after the finals
I
was
know.
like a copying of some legend. Well, I speaking of Garnett, I saw this montage. It's the best, one of my favorite Olympic memories of they were doing this practice,
Yeah.
and they're doing one-on-ones, like full court, and he just took on like the whole team in a row. Nobody could stop him. And
Love it.
it is the most, I need to send it to you because
You
it is
said it to
one of
me.
the most hype videos, just watching him dominate everybody on the team.
Um,
I think the great KG Olympic memory, just going to throwbacks, is he was right there when Vince Carter got the dunk and then just shoved him when he dunked over the like
that,
7 foot
he could
whatever
have
guy.
killed him.
Yeah, he just
Uh,
shoved Vince Carter. It was so epic.
that's amazing. Um, did you know that Luol Deng, his net worth is almost 2% of South Sudan's GDP? He might be the richest
My
player relative to
goodness.
home country of all time.
That is such a specific stat. I love it.
Shout out to Luol Deng. Um, maybe Mutombo is the only other person who could have uh that kind of stat. Is Luol Deng still in the league? No way.
No, no, no.
He's old. Um, anyway, good vibes coming from Team USA. I haven't heard about much drama on the team. I think the biggest
That
drama. Oh, go ahead.
in terms of good drama, have you heard about this Ant and KD
Oh,
friendship that's been
oh,
just brewing?
oh yes. Well,
Look, man,
this
here's
is
the
my other
thing.
question. Here's the question, because the only way we get KD is we have to part ways with Jaden.
No, 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 no. Okay, okay, okay.
What's the scenario?
The scenario is KD is on contract for this year and next year.
Okay.
Age 38. He signs a small contract because he's going to be a little more washed then.
Hmm.
And all he wants is another ring. And he wants to hang out with his buddy Ant, who he knows can carry him.
For
So
sure.
KD signs with us. And at that point, it's like KD's going to be playing the four. He's not going to be quick enough to play three, anyways. Who knows, like, what's going to happen with our team? In 3 years, are we going to have still Cat, Rudy, and Nas? I do not think that's likely. We have all three of them still. So I don't know. I I think for me, I'm kind of with our team. Like we got to be open to trading anybody except for Ant and Jaden. I honestly I don't see any reason why we trade Jaden. I think he's such a good complementary piece to
No, I
Ant.
agree. I'm thinking like if we want to make a stab at trading for KD this year, I don't because this is we have
Suns wouldn't do it though.
the window is small. I
But
mean, you've
the
seen
problem with the Suns is that they have no future.
yeah,
They have they would people talked about us going all in with the Gobert trade, which was absolute malarkey. Like
yeah.
we have 13 guys on our contract or 12 guys under 25
Hmm.
and under. But Suns actually have gone all in. They're totally screwed. So they have to try to win now.
Yeah, but you know how the NBA works. Like this is the player empowerment era. If KD wants out, KD can get out. I don't think there's a I think there's no way in the world Conley does that, but um I just can't help but think about the window we
Katie's probably
have.
proven that more than any other player.
Yeah, for real. And the window I think we have the championship window obviously has been extended now that we'd realized that Ant is this basically the greatest thing since Michael Jordan. Um the big question is the cat question. Um how many years is cat left on his contract?
He's got a lot.
Yeah. So it's either at some point
But
there's a
Rudy doesn't.
yeah. I mean, I've never been in the trade cat category ever. But if there's somebody who's going to be traded and moved in the next 2 or 3 years to really shake it up, it's going to be him. And I think the only way that happens is if this next year we end up in the play-in spot, which we won't. We're going to win the
Well,
West.
something has to happen after this
Yep.
year. Well, the thing with this, everyone talks about the second apron like it's death, but it's really
Yeah.
only death if you're in it 3 out of 5 years. So we can be in it a couple years, but I don't know what our ownership situation is going to be.
Yep.
That
True.
arbitration's happening in November.
Yeah.
It
I
got
heard
pushed
that.
back.
I heard that. What A-Rod and company are maybe going to get the Seattle team with the
No.
expansion.
That was all just, that was,
That was all
I
just
don't think,
conjecture.
yeah. No, the problem was they selected like three arbitration judges and none of their schedules lined up until
Oh,
like November
how
4th
funny.
and 5th or something. So we'll find out then, but that's a really big deal for all this stuff.
Yeah. Well, in other news, our boy Tyus Stones just signed with the Suns, which is a little bittersweet because him being reunited with the Wolves was there was conversation, and it could have just been Minnesota fans wanting it bad, but that he was considering Minnesota. Um, I miss Tyus. I miss those games where he would put us on his back and get us back into games. He would have been the perfect backup point guard. But at the same time, more room for Dilly Dilly to do his thing. I'm just worried that Dilly's 2 or 3 years away.
Oh, I'm worried about that too. I mean, I love Dilly. That dude is so fun. And if there's one thing that I'm biased towards, it's cheering for small players to make it. Um, but Dilly, like, there's no way we can put the pressure of that kid to be ready this year to be a meaningful contributor in playoff basketball.
Yeah.
Whereas Tyus is, he would be way more ready for a backup point guard role. And I mean, it is one of the greatest blunders, I think, um, in recent Wolves history was not matching Memphis's offer for Tyus. And I don't know. I think it is unbelievable what the Suns got him for. I still think if we play the Suns, we're going to beat them. Tyus is not going to make that difference. He has some weaknesses in playoff basketball, but
Hmm.
man, that what an unbelievable deal for him. And Monte Morris kind of got screwed because he signed with them thinking he was going to get this great chance for a prove it contract. Maybe we would have kept Monte if he would have known about this Tyus deal, but
Yeah.
such is life.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. And a lot can happen before the trade deadline. So, anything else on Olympics? Shout out to our new teammate Jingles playing for Team Australia, although he didn't play much in this game today.
Yeah,
Um,
he hasn't been playing, but he's been that great elder voice.
yeah. That's what we
Nas
need
been
from him.
struggle. Yeah, Nas been struggling. He just hasn't been making shots, but he'll turn it around.
We
I
need
mean,
to
it's
get
tough
that
when
out
you
of his
only get like
system.
13 minutes. Like, I just feel like that's such a tough position, and they have so much depth on that like defender role
Yeah.
between Dort and Brooks. So it's tough for him. And then Rudy's been Rudy, where you watch the game, it's like it doesn't look like he's doing that much, and then you look
Hmm.
at his impact metrics, and it's like plus a 17.
Yep.
So he's still contributing meaningful basketball. Had a bunch of big rebounds in overtime. That Japan game was crazy, but and then kind of other Olympic news is Chase Budinger got a volleyball win. former Wolves legend. Uh,
Paste.
yeah,
Shout out to Chase Budinger.
that's that is a put. I'm saying hang a banner.
Hang a banner,
Let's retire his number.
dude, for real. Him and the whole cream team. Just every white Timberwolf needs a banner because now we have none. Oh, we have jingles. We have jingles. I forgot we have jingles.
Oh yeah. Oh, we
We
have
have our token
Garza.
white guy. Oh,
We have Garza.
Luca! Luca Garza. He needs to get more
Yeah.
minutes, man. Um, in other news, J Mac having a baby boy, which is
Congrats.
we are a fertile team. 5 babies in like the last
Unbelievable.
2 months. I think Anthony already has 5 kids. So doesn't he have like multiple babies or just one?
There are conspiracies about it, but I
Oh,
only know of one real confirmed child. There was other pregnancies, but
yeah. Well, if he's got Michael Jordan's DNA, that's not surprising.
well here's the thing. I
Yeah,
know people like kind of laugh off like when you talk about off the court stuff,
yeah.
but I do feel like having a bunch of babies during this last year could not have helped during the playoffs.
Oh,
Like
absolutely not.
I have a 3 month old and having a newborn is just it just takes it out of you. So maybe they'll all have a little bit of a break from the conceiving this next year.
Yeah, I think that would be good. I think just, playing it safe is the move. Unless your name is, oh, I'm blanking on the point guard. Played at Wichita State.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Fred VanVleet.
Unless you're
Oh
Fred Van
yeah, the
Vliet,
Van Vliet
who when he has a baby,
effect.
he goes
Oh
on a
my
massive
goodness.
tear and becomes superhuman.
I know. He needs to really plan it out before
I
the
know.
playoffs, like
That's
to
that's
lock
true.
in.
That's true family planning right there. Just timing it perfectly.
Taking it for the team.
Taking it
True
for the
team
team.
player. Talking
Um,
about newborns too is because Jaden has like a newborn. But reports are he's been the biggest gym rat of the Timberwolves, which makes me hype
wait, who's
because
the gym
I
rat?
think Jaden McDaniels.
Oh, good. Yeah, that's the thing. I feel like that's the thing, the consistency, to spread the floor. If he gets that, I mean, the sky is the limit.
Look, Ant is like the biggest pick for who's gonna have like a big leap this year.
Yeah.
But I would bet my money on Jaden, and here's why. Last year, he took a step back in the regular season. Now, as the playoffs went on, he had some of his best basketball he's ever played. But in the regular season, his shooting from the corners and from above the break were both way down from last year.
Hmm.
And a lot of the defensive metrics, which are a little iffy, but they were a little down too. But he dealt with these like lingering injuries on and off throughout the year, and it just felt like he never got his groove. If he has a good off season, he's not worrying about having a new baby. He uh
True.
he stays healthy. I really think there's a great chance he could take a big leap. And I think there's room for it, for him to be more effective in our offense.
Well, he's gonna have Jingles, who's gonna, just give him some elder knowledge, and um, I'm just a big fan of him coming in and helping our guys work with how to play with Gobert, give him some of that Utah magic. Which, speaking of Utah, rest in peace. He didn't die, but he's retiring. Gordon Hayward at 34,
Oh
which is
man.
so sad because before he got hurt, when he got traded to Boston, which was felt like, you know, the prodigal son coming home to Brad Stevens, and then in his first game, he just his leg snaps in half, like freaky accident, and he was never the same, and never quite fully, was the guy he was before he got hurt. So I'm just bummed about that because he had some really great Utah years, and could have been in the league a long time. So there's a part of me that's like, are we sure he wouldn't help us? I know we hardly got minutes on Charlotte, but come
On
on,
OKC too.
yeah, come
I
sign the minimum,
the
be a
the
locker
funny
room
thing,
presence.
do you remember back in the day there was like legit arguments about who is better between Butler, Hayward, and Paul George.
Yeah.
It was like them against each other, and that has not aged well. It's kind of like the Darren Williams, Chris Paul thing,
Oh yeah,
where it's like there
I
was a
remember that.
debate
Who's the
and
best
then it
point
just
guard in
fell
the
off a
league?
cliff.
He fell off. So did Kemba. What is it with like guys like that, like you got guys like LeBron James and Chris Paul who are going to play, play into their mid 40s. And then you've got guys like Darren Williams and um you mentioned Gordon Hayward or Kemba Walker who like just all of a sudden disappear from the league. How does that happen? It's probably because
I don't know.
they're not going to Germany to get the secret horse drugs that LeBron gets.
I mean, comparing to Chris Paul and LeBron, you're comparing to like absolute Hall of Fame
I know.
legendary players. But it is interesting how it just seems that I do think smaller guards tend to age a little worse, but Mike
Yeah.
Conley's another one who disproves that. So I don't know. There's something in some people just kind of
Who's
lose it
that?
and some others
Who's
don't.
that guy on the Heat? Udonis Haslam. That dude played forever. A couple of those years
Not
though. I
those
think he
were
was just.
just like token years.
I know. I think they're just. He was just a locker room guy at
That
the
was
end there.
just based off of some sketchy stuff that from probably Pat Riley,
Dude,
some
I love
handshake
Pat Riley.
agreements.
Yeah. Um. Okay. One last really important topic. Anthony Edwards was being interviewed, and you just never know what's going to come out of his mouth. But not only did he say that he would be really good at swimming in the Olympics, but he also says that he could take on some. There's a video of him like talking trash to like ping pong players from some Asian country.
No, no, no.
Um,
They were USA.
or were
It
they?
was
But
Team USA.
they were Asian um,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They're Asian
ethnicity,
American.
Asian American. Thank you.
Hmm.
Um, and Ant's point. I would argue that I myself, I'm not as athletic as Ant, but I could, that's an understatement. I could get 1 point in a 7 game series, games to 11. I could get 1 point on Team USA's ping pong players. I'm
Okay,
good at
okay.
ping pong.
Yeah, let me respond to that. I think it was though a single game to 11 was the argument. In a 7 game series, you might have an argument. And I want to set the stage. Matt's
Single
not
game to
some
11, I can absolutely still do it.
no. Okay, I think you would fail.
I
To give
have,
context, Matt's not some normie. He used to go to
that's right.
when we lived in the Chicagoland area, he would go to ping pong
I
clubs,
drive
we'd host
all the
tournaments.
way to Schaumburg
Yeah.
and I would play against Olympic ping pong players.
Look, our family, we played an unhealthy amount of ping pong as children and through growing up. And so Matt isn't just some
Not a schlub.
like I think you would destroy Ant, to be honest. I saw how he held up. I saw him playing a little bit. You would destroy Ant. But you would you would not get a point
Here's the
on
thing.
Jung.
That's not true. I would. And here's why. Have you ever played like remember back when you used to play tennis before you retired and they wrote a newspaper article about you in small town Kansas? Um remember like when you play a pusher and
Yeah.
like you play someone who's just not a pusher is a term for a player who pushes the ball over, doesn't hit with topspin, has terrible form, and yet somehow you find yourself down like in a tiebreaker and they'd somehow be beating you. Um, that's what would happen. They would be
Wow.
so
Low
bamboozled by
shots
my
fired at our
spins.
other brother.
What about? Oh, because he lost to the pushers all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mike still has nightmares about that kid from Ellenwood or
Our
Ellsworth
brother was by far the best tennis player, but he always lost to the worst players
to the
whenever he'd get
pushers.
a loss. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so true. And then he'd start cramping up. His whole body would be in full body cramps, and we have to carry him off the
Yeah.
court. Anyway, okay, so my spins would throw them off. I've watched them serve. I could return their serve no problem. The way I hit the ball is unconventional. The way in which I serve is unconventional. My stomp serve with the hitting the table, probably illegal in Olympic play, but we're playing back alley rules, garage rules. Okay. And with my garage rules, and if I get home court advantage, so we play in our garage from Gurnee, Illinois. I think I could get a point.
Matt, we lose to pushers. But does Andy Murray lose to pushers? We're talking about an
Shout out to Andy Murray's
Olympic.
son, 15-year-old in the Junior Olympics is amazing. It looks just like his dad. Okay,
Oh,
keep going.
nice. Nice. But yeah, we lose to pushers. But the Olympic team does not lose to pushers.
No, it's the
You're
pusher
comparing
effect.
our
It's the pusher
experience.
effect. I'm not a pusher,
No,
dude.
I know that's the thing. You
It's
hit
it
low
would
with
no
topspin.
no. It would throw them
You
off
play
so
like a
badly. It would throw them off so badly. Like everything about me would throw. I'd go shirtless too. That'd really throw them off too. Just all the things. That would do
this.
everything in my
That
ability.
oh man, if you were shirtless,
Yeah,
they'd
that
be
would really
screwed. You're
throw them
right.
off. Okay. All to say, shout out to Ant for saying the best things and
Well,
just being
also
the
he
greatest source
said
of
he
entertainment.
there was an American swimmer, a woman American swimmer who challenged him to like a 50-meter race. He
Hmm.
said something like, "If it's 20-meter, I'll do it." It's like it's 20-meter, we're good.
20 meters.
So he's all about
That's so funny. Yeah, the
the
short
short
burst.
race,
Honestly, if
which
it
makes
was
sense.
20, he could probably jump half that distance. So he would just
He could.
launch himself into the air and maybe beat him.
Oh
Um,
man.
well, it's summer. It's Team USA is all we got now until we can start getting. I mean, our players. I mean, training camp hasn't even started yet. So
Yeah. Can I ask you one more question?
yeah, 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 yeah,
Because
yeah.
this is something on my mind. And I feel like a big thing that people are talking about is point guard depth and rotations. And I feel like there's this assumption that Jingles is our eighth man and like a eighth or ninth man, and they put
Mhm.
Dillingham in there too. And I think when we make the playoffs, I don't think that's true.
Okay.
I think that every year this happens. Last year, people were saying, "Oh, Shake Milton is this man," and then Troy Brown Jr. and then Jordan McLaughlin. I'm like, what are you guys talking about? We don't know. We got to see how it goes. And I think everyone's jumping the gun, and we got to see how he shoots. But I think Terrence Shannon Jr. will be the eighth man when it comes to playoff time,
Mhm.
unless we make some trade or something.
So let me look at our roster. So we got Jaden starting, Ant starting, Hound starting, Gobert
Conley
starting,
Gobert.
and Conley. And
And
then
then off the bench, Nas and Nah, six and
Nas and Na,
seven.
6 and 7. And so we no longer have slow mo.
Yep.
Um,
No
we
longer have Monte or J Mac.
Monte or J Mac. We have TJ Warren still, who is
We
not going
don't
to be
have
like,
TJ
oh, we
Warren
don't?
still. That's
Okay.
outdated.
So the only options are Minot, um,
Miller.
Miller. I mean, it's not that. I
Um,
mean, Dilly, if he is somehow can
I
take
mean,
a
people will say
rotation.
Dilly as the eighth man backup
No.
point guard, and then they'll say Jingles as our backup three.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is the problem with Jingles, he looks great. His he actually
He looks
like the
like a
stats back
YMCA,
him
like
up
he
last
belongs to the
year.
YMCA basketball court.
I just do you think he's gonna be able to defend in a playoff series against a
No,
really good Western
no,
Conference team?
no, no.
But if Terrence Shannon Jr. can shoot 36% from three,
Yeah.
I
He
don't see why he can't
he
be a
just has to
two-way
be
player.
he has to be league
Has the
average.
body.
Yeah.
He has the body defensively. He can provide something in transition, which is something that could really help us. I I just feel like people are sleeping on the importance of having someone who's big,
Yep.
who can switch and can play on both sides of the ball. And I just think there's a chance that if he has a good year that he can do that.
My biggest concern with our team is depth and from the standpoint of, we have some really great guys that we love off the bench. But if Conley, who is getting up there in age, if he goes down,
That is
like
the biggest problem.
we are in nightmare mode because Ant's going to be playing a lot of point. They're going to need to make some kind of trade. And so that's the biggest concern because we really it's scary that we're like, who's our eighth guy, and we're talking about rookies. And I hope that one of them can turn out to be a real like add a lot to our team this year. But the fact that we're running it back, we're obviously our guys are continuing to gel and get better together. Like I think we're going to be great defensively, and our floor is so high. Like with Gobert and Towns and Ant, our floor is going to be high. Um, the question is health because if we could stand to have Gobert or Towns down for a bit, but if we lose Conley, it's really dark.
If you look at our stats from last year, our impact metrics,
Hmm.
both JMac, like he did the year before, had our best net rating. We were awesome with him on the court. And second was Monte Morris.
Hmm.
We're returning neither of those guys, and we're bringing in a 19-year-old rookie as a replacement. I love Dilly. I think there's a chance that he eventually can be fine. Like, I'm talking about the playoffs. Do we think that defensively he can hold up? Do we think he'll be ready for that? Like, and even in the regular season, we just had such a positive impact when we played real point guards,
Yeah,
and we
that's
just
a great point.
lost two of them. And so I feel
Yeah.
good about our roster, but you're right. If Conley goes down,
What's Chris Paul
it's gonna be a
doing?
lot of nah at point guard, which is fine. But Chris Paul, he's with the Spurs. Him and Wemby
Oh
are
yeah. Ugh.
getting
I wish
buckets.
he.
But maybe no. You know what that means? We bring the other brother home. We bring Trey Jones home.
Trey, yes. Go for Trey Jones. Honestly, is Starberry still playing with the Shanghai Sharks? Can he come back? Or who's the other guy who's awesome overseas? Jimmer Fredette?
Let's bring Jeremy Lin. I saw him play,
Jeremy
or I didn't see
Lin.
him play, but he was playing in for Kaohsiung when he
Really?
first came to Taiwan last year. Yeah.
Dude. Oh, I'd take Jeremy Lin. Um, we need someone. I'm not I in Conley we trust because he's been excellente. We loved our draft. Um, and yeah.
I guess the other option is PJ Dozier, who I don't have a lot of confidence in,
Ugh.
but we also have him on a partially guaranteed.
Hmm,
So we can cut his contract after like January or something.
nice.
And that might open a spot if we need to make a move. So I don't know that we need something. I mean, I think Nas going to be playing some point guard this year too, and he's done fine. Um, but it is a concern that
Yeah.
if Conley gets hurt, that's a problem.
Yeah. All right. Well, summer Timberwolves talk. Can't wait for the season. It's football season, so shout out to the Vikings. I watched some training camp with JJ McCarthy,
Oh
and
man, those
I'm
highlights are
I'm so,
sick.
so pumped for the season
Oh
because I
man.
think I don't know. I know I do this every year. I do this every year, but he he might be better than Kirk Cousins as a rookie. That's just me hoping and dreaming. Um, but you know what? I'll tell you what is nice, not having to pay that Kirk Cousins contract. So it's going to free up a lot of stuff for us. And as long as we have Jay Jetta, as long as we have um I don't even know who else I really love on our team. I love our tight end, but I think he's hurt right now. Hutchinson. Can't say his name. Anyway, Vikings are fun. I'm excited about that, but more excited about Timberwolves coming back. Jake, it's been real talking to you. Have fun in Taiwan, doing Taiwan things, drinking your lemon sodas, and taking care of your son Luca at water parks. How was the water park experience?
It was sick. It was great. It
Yeah,
was it's not like a permanent one. It was just a park right by the harbor. So like you're right
nice.
by the ocean and then you're also in this like water park. It's really beautiful.
When do you start
And
training
Luca
him?
loved it.
When do you start training him so that he can play for the Taiwanese national team?
He doesn't have a Taiwan passport and is really I'd have to renounce my US citizenship
Oh,
to
really?
become a Taiwanese citizen.
I just feel like the odds of him playing on the U.S. Olympic team are a lot less than
Yeah,
him
it's
playing.
true. If he's a fantastic athlete, we'll find a way. But then he'd also have to do military service here,
Oh,
and that could get really sketchy. So
no, dude. I think you need to double down. I think that's should be your only source and goal in life is to train Luca to be the next best Luca behind Garza, of course.
yeah. Oh man, that'd be glorious.
Okay, well, let's hope he grows to be taller than you and 6
He's got your
nine.
skin, so maybe
Oh no, he's gonna sunburn. Um, does he really? How does he have my skin? You
it's
and
not exactly yours,
you
but
and
it's closer to
Carissa.
yours than me or
Oh,
Carissa.
Carissa's like Italian. That's
I
crazy.
know. I don't know what happened. We don't understand. Does skin of babies change, or is it kind of like the
It does.
same?
It does.
Okay.
Because right now you're keeping him locked up in an apartment. So when you take him out into the world, he'll get a tan. Um, because are you still in a typhoon?
No. We're good.
Okay, you survived the typhoon. Did your apartment
We
rock
did.
back and forth?
No, it wasn't like the earthquakes, but it did. there was water leaking kind of all over. All over his changing pads. So it's kind of hard to change him.
Yeah, dude, that's the dad challenge right there. Changing your son's diaper in a typhoon. All right. Shout out to Luca. Shout out to Luca Garza. Boo to Luca Doncic. And until next time, Wolf Brothers. Hope you tune in as we continue to talk about summer stuff because we're desperate for the season to start. Until next time, Jake. See you later.
See ya.